is a presentation of the Chicago White Sox Television Network.
We are coming to you from Comiskey Park, where tonight WCIU Channel 26 presents White Sox baseball. Mags Ordonez, Paul Konerko, Frank Thomas and the Sox as they get set to host Jacque Jones, A.J. Pierzynski, Torrey Hunter, and the first place Minnesota Twins. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With DJ Darren Jackson, I'm Ken Errol, since we get set to bring you the first of this 3-game set and the first of this 9-game homestand. It'll be 3 against the Minnesota Twins, 3 against Tampa Bay, and 3 against the Blue Jays. So the Sox coming reeling back off that West Coast trip. They started 2 in Texas, 3 in Oakland. They won the first game, lost the next 4. And the Sox just have had a lot of trouble on the West Coast this year.
You're not kidding. I mean, we come back. We've got a 4-game losing streak. Oakland, we had 1 good ball game out there. That was the night that Burley threw for us. So now we got to get back on track somehow, and it's got to be Gary Glover, who has become the #2 guy in the rotation lately. He's been throwing the ball very well. His last outing, it was a victory for him, a career-high 8 innings pitched, matched the career high with 7 strikeouts. So hopefully he'll back it up with another strong outing right here tonight and get the Sox back on track.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. It'll be Gary Glover against the right-hander Brad Radke, and DJ will be back with the rest of the starting lineups.
Chicago White Sox baseball, brought to you by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time. Your local Ford store. Quality people, quality products. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by Toyota. Get the feeling.
Welcome back to Comiskey Park, where the Sox are set to take on the division-leading Minnesota Twins. They are coming off of that tough road trip where they were 1-4 and now on a 4-game losing streak. So they're going to try and straighten things out here tonight against that man's crew. They have played better of late, but have been in a bit of a funk. They took 2 out of 3 just recently, that coming against the Boston Red Sox, whereas the Twins the Sox up until this road trip had been playing much better baseball. But right now Minnesota is just 4-6 last 10 ball games. Sox 5-5. So hopefully right now the Sox can get it back on track. And they're going to have to do it against Brad Radke. That man right there, Gary Glover, mentioned in the open, a strong outing his last time he took the hill. Looking for him to back that up, get things back on track. Brad Radke, a mainstay in that rotation for the Twins, came off the disabled list August 3rd, has made 3 starts since then, and has thrown the ball decent, not great. Given up 3 earned runs in 1 start, 4 in another, and then 3 in another, with an 0-1 record during that span. So Radke's trying to get himself back on track, as are the Sox as a team. Now the Sox have taken the field. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ron Gardenhire's starting lineup. Top of the order is all-star Jacque Jones in left field, followed by the hot-hitting Cristian Guzmán. At third base is Corey Koski, the DH. Another hot hitter, David Ortiz. Batting fifth, the all-star center fielder, Torrey Hunter, Doug Mientkiewicz. He is at first base. You see 19 RBIs over his last 26 games. And then Bobby Kilty, he'll be in right, doing the catching. Once again, an all-star, A.J. Pierzynski. And at second base, he closed it out with Lee Rivas. The defense, brought to you by Pepsi, is Lee Rowan Ordonez in the outfield. You have Creedy Valentine, Harris Konerko there in the infield, the battery of Mark Johnson and Gary Glover. Gary's numbers this season: he's 5-5, has a 4.50 ERA. That ERA has just been coming down steadily. In 32 games, he's made 16 starts, 250 opponents hit against him. 106 innings pitched, just 102 hits, not bad. 12 of them, though, are long balls, 39 walks, and 55 strikeouts. Umpires, Darrell Cousins, he's at home plate. Joe Brinkman at first, Marty Foster second, and Andy Fletcher will be at third. Gary Glover in his career He is 10-10, 4.69 ERA. Versus these Minnesota Twins is 1-3 with a 5.16 ERA. 0-3 last season, 1-0 this year. Glove at home, he has a 3-2 record, a 3.83 ERA. Not bad. So look for him to hopefully have all those things fall into place for him and have that good outing. Jerry Manuel. Like to see things turn around right here from the first pitch. Well, Jacque Jones, he's in the box. He's ready to get going. That means it's time for Hawk to take it away. Welcome back.
All right, DJ, thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here for WCIU Channel 26. So happy you could join us for game one of this three-game series against the 73-52 Minnesota Twins, coming in with a 14.5 game lead. Jacque Jones hitting at 287, 19 homers. He's driven in 68. Takes the first pitch downstairs. Minnesota hitting at 275 as a club with a 4.15 ERA. That ball hit hard, long, and deep, and it is 1-0 Twins.
That theory of hoping that Jerry Manuel things would go well from the first pitch. Well, second pitch of this game, things are going the wrong direction and not a good sign. Just because the fact the Sox have not been playing too well lately. I don't want things to start like this.
So the 20th homer, 69th ribby for the 27-year-old All-Star. He just bow and arrowed that one right out of here. As here's the switch hitting shortstop, Cristian Guzmán, on a 16-game hitting streak. His career best is 17, and that was last year.
Guzmán during that hitting streak, not as if he's on fire, but swinging the bat very well, hitting .355 during it. Usually when you get that hot for 16 games, the guys are hitting about .450.
Prior to that home run by Jones, Jacque Jones had faced Gary Glover 11 times, with 0 for 11. Guzman's 0 for 10 against Gary. Breaking ball strike. 1-2 the count.
Well, if things early in the game set the tone, that's not a good sign for the Sox. Jones leading off with a home run, as in yesterday's ball game. Tony Graffinino had one robbed, taken away from him. It hit one deep to left field. David Justice went back up over the fence, leading off the game, and took the home run away from him.
So you believe in omens, huh?
Well, that's the way the ball game ended up yesterday. Things just didn't go right, and hopefully that's not the sign today.
Foul back to our left. Minnesota coming in. They are 30-29 on the road, while at home they are 43-23. Twins 33-17 against the Central so far this season. And that ball hit deep to right. Way back. And it is 2-0 Minnesota. So Jones' first hit off Glover, a homer. Guzman's first hit off Glover leaves the park.
I think we need somebody to get up in the batter's box that's hit him well. These guys that haven't, they seem to have been due, and it's paying off for them. Gary's going to go with the off-speed pitch here. Going to cut it in, and Guzmán, you just see him just yank the hands in and a little punch shot at it, and it's gone. That's when you're swinging the bat well. You get good results.
Here's Corey Koski. Koski at 276, 9 homers. He's driven in 55. This is the 11th meeting of the year between these two ball clubs. In the first 10, Sox have won 4 of them. Outfield straight up. That ball hit into left field. Carlos Lee. So one out. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, David Ortiz. There are his numbers. He's faced Glover 7 times. He has 3 hits, one of which stayed in the park.
If we're going to go by omens already, the way this game has started, then Ortiz is an out because he's been swinging the bat well, especially since the break. 10 home runs, 27 driven in.
Two balls, no strikes for the 26-year-old. Good hitter.
And you see that graphic, especially against the Sox. Lifetime 362. Uh-oh. Two and one. Other action around the American League shows Tampa Bay at Baltimore, Cleveland hosting Oakland. Oakland leading that game 5-1. Top of the 5th at Jacobs Field. Seattle at Detroit. And Kansas City taking on Toronto at Skydome. 4 finals over in the National League this afternoon. Atlanta defeated the Rockies 7-6. Houston over Cincinnati 7-5 at Synergy Field. Montreal shuts out San Diego 4-0 at home. And the Giants shut out Florida 3-0 down at Pro Player Stadium. It's 3-0. Number 16 for Ortiz. We need Buster here. Buster's another name for Mulligan. Oh, and look at it like this. Sox starting pitchers have had some big innings against them, and usually it comes in an ugly way. Some walks, hit batters, and then the big hit. Well, the Twins are earning these runs.
Here's Torrey Hunter. Takes the strike. Hunter is 305, 24 homers, 75 knocked in.
He has himself a 7-game hitting streak.
Way back, Mags, right in front of the Armitage sign. Fans.
Well, something's not right. I mean, you got 3 home runs and 2 flyouts to the warning track. Either the Twins have got the best plan in the history of the game where 5 guys can come either hit a home run or come close to it in a row, or Gary's not getting the ball where he needs to.
I think that's apparent.
Well, which one? I think
either or.
Okay.
All the above. Mientkiewicz takes strike 1. He's at 257, 9 homers. He's driven in 60. Well, you know, every now and then stuff happens. And the quicker you can let it go, the better off you are.
Mientkiewicz, who had a big day yesterday. He was 3 for 4 with a home run and a double.
Down ball. Willie Harris sucks to that. The number 4 home runs by Jacque Jones, Cristian Guzmán, David Ortiz. Here in the top of the 1st, and after having a play, it's Twins 3 and Sox coming to bat.
It's 3-0 as we go into the bottom of the 1st inning. Let's take a look right now at Jerry Manuel's starting lineup, brought to you by Pepsi. Top of it, you get Harris, then Rowan and Lee. See Aaron, 11 for 33 over his last 7 games. And then you get to the heart of it, Maglio, Konerko, and Thomas. And then shortstop Valentine, third baseman Creedy, catcher Johnson. The defense for the Twins is Jones, Hunter, Keelty in the outfield, Koski, Guzmán, Rivas, Mientkiewicz the infield. Pierzynski doing the catching, and Brad Radke, he's on the hill. And he brings that 4-3 record with a 5.09 ERA, 263 opponents hit against him. See the rest of his numbers. Had mentioned that he just came off the disabled list. August 3rd, had been on there for quite some time. And he is 0-1 in his 3 starts since then. In his career versus the Sox, he's 8-7. But last year, he was 4-2 with a 3.89 ERA. And his career record is 97 victories against 98 losses.
So Willie Harris will start things off. Willie at 178, a homer. He's driven in 7. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Koski at the cut of the grass at third. Outfield about equidistant, slightly to the left. Take strike 1. First time Harris has ever seen Brad Radke. Here at Comiskey Park, 330 down the left field line, 375 in the gaps, 400 straight away center field, and 335 down the right field line. And if you're just tuning in, 3 solo homers. Back-to-backs to lead it off by Jones and Guzmán. Then 1 out. Ortiz goes way out of here. That's high into left field. Jacque Jones. And right now let's check out our picks to click. Command Joe, the director of the crew, if they're annoying. DJ's going with Big Frank, and Elizabeth Ann, Duty Gorman, and I are going to go with Willie Harris. There are the numbers on Aaron. Aaron has faced Radke 1 time. He's 0 for 1. Sox hitting at 265 as a club with a 4.80 ERA. Sox coming off that 5-game road trip. They won the opener in Texas and lost the last 4. Sox on the West Coast this year, as we mentioned, they played 12 games. They're done with the West Coast now, but they had played 12 games. They won the opener on opening day, April 1st, against the Mariners, and lost the next 11.
Good riddance. Done with that.
Now that's a tough West Coast trip.
You know, and I told you down in Texas, I had a good feeling about how things were going to go in Oakland, and I still felt that way, especially once we had that outstanding performance by Burley. We ended up losing that one 1-0, but then the wheels came off the wagon game 2 and 3.
2-1.
I give a lot of credit to that outstanding pitching staff Oakland has. At the end of yesterday's game, the league best 3.77 team ERA.
High pop up right side. Louis Rivas. Well, for some reason, it always seems like Corey Lytle pitches well against us, and all of a sudden you got Mulder, and then you got Zito.
Well, there was no question. Corey Lytle actually, coming into that outing on Friday against Burley, had thrown at 15 straight shutout innings, and then he just went ahead and continued on. Why not? As he went 7 innings without giving up a run. So he got himself a 22-inning run of scorelessness, and it didn't get any better the next 2 days.
Here's Carlos Lee hitting at 263. Carlos 7 for 26 lifetime against Radke with a homer.
It's a big Frank. Had a tough time on the road trip. especially out in Oakland. Just one hit in that series.
Get out of here. Pierzynski will run out of room. A.J. Pierzynski, Sox killer. Koski, nice pick. Nice tag. 1-2-3 inning for Radke, and after one he leaves it 3-zip.
Three-zip right here in the top of the second inning as the Sox went down 1-2-3 in their half of the first. Kilty, Pierzynski, and Rivas to face Glover here in the second.
Kilty at .298. 8 homers. He's driven in 36. Switch hitter takes strike one. He's 0 for 3 lifetime off Glover. So far, that has been a bad sign. Guy being 0 for off Gary in this particular game. There's a shot off the glove of Willie Harris.
Right about now, if you're Gary Glover, you just got to step off the mound, kick your heels together for a second, shake your head, and regroup, because things aren't going too well.
Well, right here's where you got to go plan B. Now, if you don't have plan B, you got a problem.
Well, I hope he does. Saw Danny Wright in yesterday's game. They got to him in the third inning, the fourth inning, and then he just seemed to say, all right, enough is enough. Reached back and started throwing the ball as hard as he could and had a little better result.
Pierzynski at .302.6 homers. He's driven in 41. He's faced Glover 8 times. He has 6 hits. 5 of them stayed in the park. Pops him up. Carlos Lee. Playing golf with one of your former teammates a couple of years ago, Greg Maddox. I asked him, I said, Greg, I said, when you get in a jam out there, what do you do? He said, I go to plan B. I said, which is? He said, I shorten my stride and get below the hitting speed.
Well, you just said it. Hopefully, every pitcher has plan B, just in case.
He said, but Hawkins said, I got plan C as well.
I was going to say, not many pitchers have plan C, though. He's one of those special guys.
Yeah.
But it's not something that you could just all of a sudden, as the game's going, say, you know what, I got to try something else. Coming into the game, you got to have an idea if things aren't going right, what you're going to do.
That ball hit hard in the right center field. Aaron. He's there on the edge of the track. Guilty tags, and he will go into second. Man, right now, let's check out our forward snapshot. If you're just tuning in, here's what happened last inning. Jacque Jones leading off. Guzmán hitting second. Ortiz hitting fourth. And it's 3-0. Good rip by Jacque Jones. Art Johnson going to go out. Off a little pearl of wisdom to Glover.
Runner on second base now. Maybe a little. All right, let's make sure we're together on the signs and no mistakes, as Jones took a pretty healthy cut at that first pitch.
Changing of the game. Over the years, has got a good pitch hit right there. High breaking ball. Fouls it out. Wasn't too long ago that Jacque Jones, that led off the game with a homer, comes up here in the second inning. He takes a swing like that at the first pitch. He would be sitting flat on his butt.
Oh, you're right. And there's a couple of guys still, not many.
That ball hit deep for right. Mags going back. And it's 5-0.
Jacque Jones just saw 3 pitches in this at bat and swung out of his tail on each swing. And that last pitch was not a terrible pitch, but he didn't get cheated on any of those swings, and that one was up and in, and he just turned on it.
Number 21, he now has 71 ribbies.
We're seeing a little bit what took place yesterday. Terrence Long against Danny Wright. As you see, that's just a great job by Jacque Jones. He's swinging it.
Well, in respect to the vein we were just talking, it would really be nice to be hitting today.
Yesterday, we mentioned Terrence Long hit 2 home runs off of Danny Wright. I mean, just crushed him, and he didn't. That's a shot over into the seats. He didn't seem to have any problem feeling comfortable in the batter's box. But you know, you just mentioned things have changed
dramatically. The 0-2. The greatest thing that a hitter can have against a pitcher is a huge comfort zone. So if that's the greatest thing the hitter can have, the pitcher's job is to take it away from him.
You know, we were just seeing the highlights there. Mercedes moment, the 3 home runs and the fourth snapshot and the first.
Down ball. Jacque Jones, second homer in as many innings. They go to the bottom of the second, trailing by 5. Four home runs already, if you're just joining us. 2 by Jacque Jones. 1 by Cristian Guzmán. 1 by David Ortiz. So it'll be Mags, Konerko, and Thomas to face Radke. Mags on a 14-game hitting streak.
You know, I was talking about that fourth snapshot where Ortiz showed him hit the ball. He knew it was gone. He stood there for a few seconds, watched it, tossed his bat like it was a little toothpick out of the way. And there was a lot of pitchers not too long ago that would have not taken too much of a liking to that.
Well, unless you're just a super talented pitcher, it's hard to go out there and be a gentleman farmer from the mound. You better go out there and be a street fighter.
Well, yeah, you got to have some kind of little edge to go with it, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
8 him up. Guzmán. And of course, you know, a lot of that has to do with the manager. There are some managers who will not say a word. And there are other managers, when that pitcher comes in after an inning like that, will say, hey, do you realize these guys are taking bread, butter, and food off your table? You better put somebody down.
Well, There are those that don't have to be told and look up there and see things going on, and they'll just take the bull by the horns themselves. Not many of them nowadays, though.
Well, that's the thing. Those guys are few and far between.
Hey, you know what? It really comes down to it's every guy that's out on that hill, his responsibility to do his job. And if he doesn't do it very well, then he's not going to be here long.
Paulie on a 12-game hitting streak at .317, 25 homers. He's driven in 90, now make it 13.
Paulie extended his hitting streak yesterday in his last at-bat, and the day before that in his last at-bat. Tonight, gets it out of the way early. Good decision.
So a mixed reaction right here as Big Frank introduced. Frank at .235, 20 homers. He's driven in 71. Foul ball.
Frank had a tough series in Oakland. Frank was 0 for 3 yesterday with a base on ball, a couple of strikeouts. The day before that, he was 1 for 4. And in the series opener, 0 for 4. And not necessarily hitting the ball real hard.
One and one the count.
So that's why he's my pick to click tonight. He's due. He's going to turn it on.
For the Twins, 0-1-0 for the Sox.
That's unless you get a changeup from Radke. That outstanding change, at one time considered the best in the American League.
And indeed it was. Two and two.
I recall playing for the Twins back in '97. And being in center field while Brad Radke was pitching in Oakland. And I mean, he had that changeup and fastball and breaking ball working so well, the Athletics had no chance against him. But it was mainly because of the changeup. The hitters had no chance. They were caught in between speeds. His fastball would get up on him, and his changeup they were out in front of.
Payoff pitch. Koski with a beautiful catch right there off the rocket. From Thomas. What a great reaction play.
This has happened to the Sox quite a bit recently. It happened a few times in Oakland where there were some hot smashes that seemed like it would be impossible for an infielder even to have time to react, let alone look like Koski right there in parallel, getting over and making the grab. Some hard luck for Sox hitters lately.
Here's Valentin. Jose, 241. Takes ball one. That was quite a play by Corey Koski.
Joe Creedy made some nice plays in Oakland. Hot smashes. As did Eric Chavez.
Jammed him. Count he was at 1. To Valentin. For a beautiful evening here in the great city of Chicago. Got a cloud in the sky. Two and one.
Jose had the last couple of ball games off as two left-handers went back-to-back in Oakland. giving Royce a chance out there at shortstop.
Well, Oakland, you could say, is not one of Jose's favorite parks to play in.
I'll tell you what, that infield seems like it's a piece of cement compared to coming here to Comiskey Park. I was thinking how beautiful and soft it looks here in comparison.
Full count. Well, Chavez doesn't have any problems with it. Otta does a pretty good job out there. You know, Ozzie always said the same thing. Ozzie Guillen, one of his worst places he wanted to go was Oakland.
Well, Chavez and Tejada each with 16 errors this year.
Just got a piece of it.
That hard infield is actually eating them up.
I'll tell you one thing. That Tiger Stadium infield back in the 60s sometimes was almost unplayable. Old Tiger Stadium, it was hard as a rock with chunks of dirt.
I say probably had a lot of guys getting eaten up, hurt, bad hops.
That's hooking foul. Chavez this year has been almost a highlight defensive reel on those shows. Well, the plays he's made.
Yeah, continued while we were there. Radke, he's got a history. He give up some home runs, so hopefully the Sox can get a couple of guys on and they can launch them. One year he gave up 40, that back in '96.
And there's ball 4. And here comes Joe Creedy.
There's a reminder. It's Elvis night this Friday when the White Sox take on the Devil Rays at 7:05. Enjoy gate entertainment, pregame fun, a postgame concert, and fireworks courtesy of Miller Lite. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or log on to whitesox.com.
There are the numbers on Creedy. 222, a homer. He's driven in 3. He's faced Radke twice. He has 1 hit. Outfield just about straight away. Joe's got a big hole to dig out of. Nothing in 2.
Joe had a tough go of it out in Oakland also, as did most of the hitters. But they didn't stack on a lot of runs or hits. Joe was 0 for 4 yesterday, 0 for 4 the day before that, and 1 for 3 in the opener there.
Up to this point, Joe just looks very, very tentative and defensive at the plate.
Seems it's just taking him a little bit of time to figure things out up there in the batter's box.
One and 2.
He did have a 7-game hitting streak. Continued it on that against Lytle when he did get that 1 hit in Oakland. Then from there he went 0 for 9.
Down ball, little 2-hopper. Sox get a couple of men on with a hit and a walk. We'll go to the 3rd, trailing by 5. '29-year-old third baseman Corey Koski will lead off the top of the 3rd. Takes a breaking ball. And the count 1-0. Koski went out to Carlos Lee his first trip. 5 runs on 5 hits. The Twins, no runs on 1 hit for the Sox. Off the end of the bat. Squibber.
Here's a reminder. This Wednesday, the White Sox will take on the Twins at 7:05. The first 15,000 fans will receive a White Sox mouse pad courtesy of SBC Ameritech. So for game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME. You can also visit whitesox.com.
DH David Ortiz hit a long home run in the first inning. He now has 16 on the year. Ortiz just 26 years old. If you saw that graphic earlier, he hits us pretty well. Two and one. Only other National League game in action. St. Louis leading Pittsburgh 1-0. That's in the top of the third. In the Show Me State. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down here in the top of the third.
David Ortiz. We've talked about him enough this year, but he still appears to be one of those guys that tries to get his average to a certain point before he starts thinking about the long ball, because he does have tremendous power.
And he's got a full count.
He's been creeping up in that home run department. 11 home runs, 28 driven in since the All-Star break.
That's in the center field deep. Aaron on the track. There's the center fielder, Torrey Hunter. He went out deep to Maggs and right in front of the Armatron sign. Got a good breaking ball to hit. A little too quick.
Now, this Twins team has just spread the fame over the year. A different guy, it seems, all through the season has stepped up to help win games. Not as if one guy has constantly just stepped up and gotten it done on a regular basis. They're just spreading it out. Somebody else could be any night when the game close, late for them to come through with a big hit.
Ball hit hard in right center field. Maggs got a good jump. He's there. Makes the catch. That is a 1-2-3 inning for Glover, and after 2.5 he trails it 5-0.
This portion of White Sox baseball is brought to you by Tool Territory. Tool Territory, where tools rule. Only at Sears. Where else?
Get to know Daryl Hughley.
Go to your room.
I'm in my room.
I was talking to your mama.
Watch the Hughleys.
Weeknight starting September 16th on WCIU.
Mark Johnson will lead it off here as Brad Radke out of Largo, Florida. Got himself a quick cushion. It's first pitch strike. Mark 2 for 9 lifetime off Radke. And the count 0-2. Popped up. Mientkiewicz.
Here's a reminder. This Wednesday, the White Sox take on the Twins at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans 18 and older will receive a coupon for discounted airfare courtesy of ATA. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or log on to whitesox.com.
Here's Willie Harris. He went out to Jacque Jones in left. And prior to the game, the Sox welcomed 450 cancer survivors and their families. The Cancer Survivors Night. Oh, we had just a wonderful rendition of our national anthem as there is a bunt. Not quite hard enough. He gets it by him as a base hit, but he didn't. So 2 out.
Just a little too soft. Need to bunt a little harder and make that second baseman have to come on in and make the play. See, Radke almost had a little trouble getting it out of the glove, but he had time because he was right en route for that throw.
Gonna bring up Aaron Rowan. But Jennifer Fallick, who herself is a 26-year-old cancer survivor. Boy, what a voice she has. What a job on the national anthem by Jennifer Fallick. Thank you. Strike on the corner to Aaron. Also, the picnic in the park, presented by LaSalle Bank, held on August 10th, raised $65,000 for Chicago White Sox charities. And some more charitable community work. White Sox wives, including Missy Leifer, Marianne Rowan, Robin Wright, Emily Ginter, Lisa Creedy, Leonette Manuel, Tina Biddle, and Jessica Wunsch presented a check of $10,000 to Gilda's Club Chicago from the sales of the Sox Appetit Cookbook. Here's the 1-2.
Aaron, since getting that opportunity to play every day, he's done a good job at one thing, I'll tell you that, and that is keeping that focus and intensity. Oh, that was a good shot, close up of him as Radke was starting his motion. He really is an intense player.
Well, of all the youngsters we've seen, the Sox farm system, and we used to talk about Aaron Rowan when he was down there. He was the most aggressive hitter we had. Full count.
Another thing that I always liked about Aaron is not just that he was aggressive and his overall talent. It was his thought process. It was that he wanted to be the best one on the field. You add that all together, and guess what? You've got yourself a future pretty good ball player at the big league level.
The ball hit hard in the left center field. Jacque Jones. Stretch. It's off the wall. So Aaron will pull into second. That's his 12th two-bagger, coming with 2 out here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, Aaron looked like he was swinging the bat pretty well in this at bat against Radke, and right there he got himself a sweet one right down the middle of the plate on the full count. And why not? Radke's got himself a big lead with 2 outs there. No need to fiddle around, and Aaron Rowan wisely didn't miss it.
So here's El Caballo. Carlos grounded out to Koski.
Yep. Carlos has got to walk out of the box and shake that one off, because that almost hit him right on the hand. It was coming right at him as he started to swing.
That ball would have hit him right in the right shoulder if he hadn't hit it.
That's a shuto. I remember chasing a whole bunch of those pitches in Japan. Halfway in the batter's box, and they looked good when they left the hand.
Yeah. Keep going. Stretch. Way back. You can put it on the board. Yes. Number 20 for Carlos. And it's a 5-2 ball game.
The Sox now with 4 hitters in the lineup with 20 or more home runs. That's Carlos. There it is. Just got enough of it for number 20.
First pitch strike to Maggs. Maggs grounded out to Guzmán at short. 20 homers, 59 ribbies for El Caballo. With that homer by Carlos, the Alex Snellius family will donate $100 for every White Sox home run hit during the 2002 campaign to Chicago White Sox Baseball Cancer Charities. And there's number 156, so $15,600 donated by Alex and Ursula Snellius.
Carlos still shaking his hands out from that first swing. And probably all he had, that blast right there, with his hands killing him. Eerie. Easy for Carlos to laugh now. Easy for him to be very happy about that first swing.
Get up. Way back. You can put it on the board. Yes. Number 28 for Maggs, RBI number 100. And it's a 5-3 ball game.
Mentioned Brad Radke. He can't give up the long ball. Well, the Sox giving themselves a chance by swinging for the fences here, getting back into it pretty quickly with this 3 spot here in the 3rd. Maggs extending that hitting streak the right way.
Maggs now just 2 home runs away to record his 4th consecutive 30 homer 100 RBI season. Second longest streak in White Sox history behind Frank Thomas, who reached those numbers in 5 straight seasons from 93 to 97.
And Maggs does a nice job getting down on that knee-high pitch and nailing it. Maggs came in hitting .371 since the break. He's on fire.
0-2 the count to Paul. Paulie single last inning. So the Sox go back to back here in the bottom of the 3rd to jump right back in this ball game.
Well, you don't see it very often, but that's happened twice tonight. Once for the Twins and now the Sox.
Pops him up. Jacque Jones is there, makes the catch, but a crooked number goes up on that board. We'll go to 4th now, trailing only by 2. 5-5-0 for the Twinkies. 3-4-0 for the Sox as Mientkiewicz will lead it off here in the top of the fourth. He grounded out to Willie Harris. Back-to-back homers by Carlos Lee and Mags Ordonez. One and one. First of a 3-game set. First of a 9-game homestand. 3 with Minnesota, 3 with Tampa Bay, and 3 with Toronto. One and two. Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
Big thing for Gary Glover is to continue on as he did in the third and shut these Twins down and just rebound from those first 2 innings.
Slaps it into left field.
Gary has done that quite a few times this season.
And before right fielder Bobby Kilkey makes his way to the plate, let's pause for station identification.
You're watching WCIU, Channel 26, The U.
On with Darren Jackson, Ken Harrelson from Comiskey Park. As Kilkey singled and scored in the second. Low to even the count at 1. Kilkey just 26. Just turned 26.
Not too long ago, Kilty and Moore. Dustin Moore was not in there tonight. Had both hitting well over 300. Well, down at. Takes that. Now he's up at 301. Started this at 298. Last time we saw these guys, he was up around 330. Dustin Moore was well up there too. He's at 289. Moore and Kilty do a little bit of platooning out there in that outfield.
Count evens at 2. The Twins sent down Mike Kadire. We call Matt LaCroix. Dyer looks like he's got a chance to be some kind of good player.
Yeah, we saw him swing the bat well. So we know what he's capable of. Also, we've seen his numbers through the minor leagues.
Third ball. Farley controls it. Wasn't going to turn 2 anyway, but could have gotten the lead man possibly.
As Mike Porzio gets warmed up in that bullpen. Now that play right there, Paul Konerko tried to get himself in position, turning his body around to throw to second base. Luckily, he didn't mess it up as he just knocked it down right there. Maybe trying to do a little too much. Kept it right there, was able to get that out at least at first.
So here's Pierzynski, the catcher. He went out to Carlos Lee and left. Now 6 for 9 lifetime off Glover. Guys, a bunnet. Carcredi playing back.
Well, we don't see Pierzynski try that very often. But when you look down there and that third baseman standing way back there, why not? Give it a go. Because if you get it down, you got a first and third situation.
Well, the way you went about that one, that could have been a line drive to left field. That ball hit hard in center. Aaron tracking, he's there. Mientkiewicz tags. Here's the throw by Aaron. So 2 down. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Luis Rivas. He's just 22 years old. He's 0 for 1. Fly deep to Rowan in center. The Twins, they're the only team in Major League Baseball to have kept their daily record at or above 500 every day since the beginning of 2001. 287 consecutive games over the last 2 years.
That's telling you something, that's for sure. The only team in baseball to have accomplished that feat. They've been very, very consistent since the beginning of last year.
Well, they're going to have a pretty good streak. They're 21 over right now. If they finish up the season with a record of 500 or better, which they will, the streak would reach 334 games. Longest such streak in baseball since the Yankees ended the 2001 season with 483 consecutive games with 500 or better. Three and 1. And he pops it up. Aaron makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. So the leadoff single by Mientkiewicz is wasted, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, trailing by a pair. Minnesota by a pair here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Thomas, Valentine, and Creedy to face Brad Radke. Big Frank 0 for 1. He was robbed of extra bases on a brilliant play by Corey Koski at third. He hit a P to Koski's right, who made a great reaction catch on him. Pure reflex. Get out of here. Trying to come back, but it's right.
I was noticing that on this last road trip, Frank this year has hit an inordinate amount of pop flies to second base. He has just gotten under so many and just popped them on the right side of that infield.
Well, it's really understandable. That right side collapsing like it is.
Well, Frank has always had that tendency to be able to flare balls out into right field. And even to start this one, he had been doing it, but that's gone away. I'll get back to that special gift of flair. Well, we've talked about it before about Frank, how we've never seen anybody before him or after that can look so bad and still put the bat on the ball and fit those little bloopers out there in the short right.
In his first 9 years in the league, he was a magician. Full count. I mean, an absolute magician. It's almost like he practiced that his whole life. And then when he got something decent to pitch, he would just hammer it.
Look what that happened here.
Got a pretty good pitch right there on full count to hit. Backside collapse. You know, when you collapse that right side like that swing becomes a push with no power. You cannot drive the ball. You can hit it, but you can't drive it. First strikeout for Radke.
He goes to the 3-2 breaking ball on Frank. Tight and hard, down and away. It's a good pitch on the 3-2 count after he had not been throwing the curve at all. There's the changeups and fastballs.
Jose drew a walk his first trip. Well, collapsing that backside is the right side is on Frank is one thing. Correcting it is another. 1-1.
Well, Frank has put his work in. That's one thing he's been doing. He was trying to correct it. Puts a lot of time in the cage. And it had gone out for early hitting out on the field quite a bit. Ran into a string where he was swinging it much better, but then it goes away again.
And there's a base hit by Mientkiewicz. Oh, the one-out single by Hose. The Red Sox now 3 runs on 5 hits. Minnesota 5 runs on 6 hits. And here's Creedy. Going into a 6-4 fielder's choice.
Down just 2 runs. Sox got a lot of room to get some motion, some action, get things going, not just sitting back and waiting.
Well, a lot of times in situations like this where you got a youngster up there just called up not too long ago, 17 games ago. You help him out a lot of times by putting a hit and run on. Try to pick a pitch for him. Put the hit and run on. Flips that one foul right side. 0-1.
Well, we've seen it already. Joe has had a situation where there was a job for him to do, to move a runner along, and he concentrated on it, and instead he got himself a base hit, drove in a run. It's been in those situations where it seems like he's had an assignment for himself, that he's been able to concentrate a little bit better and focus and put a better swing on the ball.
Once again, he's 0-2.
When you're at AAA and having a lot of success, you are not going to see a lot of pitchers that got change-ups as nasty as Radke. So it's a learning process up here. And Brad Radke has been a pitcher that has not been afraid of the bat. In certain situations, when it becomes a closer game, it's a different story. He's always tried to make his pitches then.
Two out. And that'll bring up Mark Johnson. Mark popped one up in the middle of the diamond. The Doug Mientkiewicz came over and made the play. Pretty good lead by Jose.
Jose just 3 stolen bases this season and 6 attempts. The Sox have not really been running at all of late. That seems to be part of their game that is vacated.
To the count to Johnson. Broken bat back through the middle. And into center field. Jose sees that, makes a turn, moves into third. So 2 out runners at the corner.
Looks like the Sox cut a break right there. Mark Johnson hit it back, and Radke seemed to deflect it just a little bit. And it had some spin on it to go with it, as it's just running away from second baseman Luis Rivas. Not hit hard, but the little deflection by Radke as it appeared, and then that little Massey spin on it ran it away from the second baseman.
So here's Willie Harris. He's 0 for 2. He's gone out to left, and he tried to bunt and didn't get it by Radke.
Radke's the kind of pitcher where you just got to go ahead and sit on his fastball and adjust to his changeup and breaking ball if you can. But you can't let him get that fastball by you just right there.
Into center field, wrong place. Sox have a mild 2-out threat. Can't do anything with it. We'll go to the 5th. We need 2 to tie. Jacque Jones will lead it off here in the top of the 5th. He's 2 for 2. A solo shot to lead off the ball game. Then in the second inning, with Bobby Kielty aboard, he hit another one. 21 homers, 71 ribbies. Outfield straight up. There's a bullet into left center. For the leadoff double. If you're just tuning in, he was 0 for 11 coming into this ball game off Gary Glover. So he's now 3 for 14.
Well, obviously, Jacque Jones and hitting coach Scotty Olger must have got together with the game plan, as Jacque hits the ball so well, it seems, right here at Comiskey Park against the Sox. They do a little bit better against him while they're in the Twinkie Dome. But we have seen him really hit the ball hard in this ballpark. I mean, on the button. His 30th double this season.
Cristian Guzmán takes ball 1. He homered in the first. Grounded to Konerko in the second.
Yeah, he extended his hitting streak in fine fashion to 17 games. That home run swing that Guzmán took, I mean, it's like he put no effort into it whatsoever. It just happened to be point of contact was perfect, and he got out of here. And I was watching him take batting practice. He was putting about the same effort in his practice swings then, and that ball was jumping off his bat.
There was a shot back through the middle. They're going to hold Jones at third as Aaron makes a beautiful peg in. That's nice to see the opposition having to hold somebody up against one of our outfielders.
You're not kidding, and that was a missile out there to him. But Aaron, he's getting that reputation of being able to throw, which is going to deter third base coaches from sending that runner, especially when there's no outs. It appears right now Jerry Manuel, he has called to the pen And Mike Porzio on his way to the hill. Gary Glover, he's out there for 4+. And then we will be back. Yeah, we've got ourselves a 2-run ball game here in the top of the 5th inning, and things not going too well. Gary Glover just pulled out of this one for Mike Porzio. He's 1-0 with a 4.94 ERA. Opponents hitting .261 against him. He's called on to face the left-handed hitting Corey Koski. Runners on the corners.
So Glover works 4+. He's up to 5 runs, 4 homers on the 8 hits. And here's Koski. Koski has gone out to left and grounded to short. Nice block by Mark Johnson. Saw the breaking ball first pitch to Koski. It's almost just imperative that the left-handed relievers, when they come in, be able to get a first ball breaking ball over.
Well, we've talked about it. Mike Porzio, since his recall, has really thrown the ball very well. Had a tough outing, as did most relievers in Oakland. In Oakland, he just had one of those ball games where the bullpen that had been throwing the ball so well, it didn't matter who was out there on the hill in that game. A 9-2 loss. Seemed like everybody was going to get touched up. Actually, Porzio went 2 1/3. He had 2 walks.
Should be. Willie bobble and still turns. Rack him up. Jones scores, and it's a 6-3 ball game. Now Gardenhire wants to see if he had control as he came across that bag.
Jose down low, good feed, and that's a good question. From that picture, it looked like maybe Harris did not have control, bobbling it, finishes it off with a good firm throw. That's a very good argument right there by Gardenhire, but he's not going to get that one, as second base umpire Marty Foster says no, he had it. Just trying to take it out and couldn't get the handle on it.
So here's Ortiz. He is homered and fly deep to center.
Ortiz just hitting .195 against lefties this year, but a totally different story against the Sox lefties.
Isn't that amazing?
He has hurt him.
Pops that one up softly. Jose is there, so a good job by Mike Porzio. We're halfway home. We need 3 to tie.
This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago White Sox and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago White Sox.
Aaron Rowan gets set to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th. 6-8-0 for the Twinkies, 3-6-0 for the Sox. Aaron's 1 for 2. Popped the second and started off that 3-run third with the double. With 2 out.
Aaron, when he hit that double, had seen a lot of changeups and fastballs. Radke starts him off with a breaking ball.
Another one. And the count evens at 1. Base hit right over the head of Koski. Right off the end of the bat. Jacque Jones, he can get down that line and cover that line as well as any left fielder in this league. He has, he's something out there. He and Torrey Hunter. They can cover some ground. They have great instincts.
Well, you know, it's a mindset. It's before the ball's hit and then you see it hit. You're saying to yourself, anything hit down the line, I'm holding them to a single. Because most balls hit down the line are going to be automatic doubles. Some guys just cruise in there, as an outfielder that is, and just get it in and throw it to third base. You got the right mindset right from the get-go. You'll bust over there and get it back in, and there's no way that guy's standing on second, just helping your pitcher out.
Here's Carlos Lee. Carlos 1 for 2, a 2-run homer. That's now 20 homers, 59 driven in. Come on, Caballo, have a good night. Just a decent lead by Aaron. And the count very quickly, 0-2.
Carlos now 3 straight years of 20 or more home runs. Last season, 24 long balls. Year before that, the same. And Carlos started this one off very slowly in the power categories, let alone average.
Davis bobbles it. Everybody is safe.
You notice how so many times this year we see second baseman, first baseman try to get themselves in a position to turn that double play as Rivas is going to spin and then throw, and this is the result very often. They're trying to do too much before they actually glove the ball. We saw Konerko do it. Difference was he's at first base. He just had to pick it back up and step on the bag. That's just the 4th error on the year for Rivas. He played a very solid second base.
Mags. He's 1 for 2. He backed up. Carlos is home. It is 28. There's Torrey Hunter. One out.
Here's a reminder, every Tuesday home game is Pepsi Half Price Tuesday. Come see the White Sox take on the Twins tomorrow at 7:05, and you'll receive a half-price ticket when you redeem any empty Pepsi container at any Comiskey Park ticket window. That's on the day of the game.
First baseman, number 14.
So here's Konerko. He's 1 for 2.
Konerko.
Picked up that first hit, a single with 1 out in the second. Got the fastball past him. Little tardy, and the count 0-1.
This time of the year with the Sox sitting on a record of 58 and 66, it's about time for the players to not even bother checking the standings. Come to the ballpark every day and just say, we got a game to play, let's try and win it. Don't think about making up ground or what other teams are doing. Just beat the team in front of you that day.
Collie now got a bow his neck. Cinch it up and huck her down.
I remember the mindset of the Sox last year when they dug themselves in the hole to start the year with some bad play. They kept thinking, all right, we can get back in this. They kept checking the scoreboard. It just never worked out that way, even though they finished playing better. This year, forget about it. Just go out and play the game each day.
Two down. So 2 out. Here comes Big Frank. Radke now 3 strikeouts. All coming in the last 2 innings. Frank was the first one. Frank 0 for 2. That line shot to Koski and the punch out. One and one. The ball hit hard in the right field. Keelty going back. He's there. Makes the catch. So the Sox have a golden opportunity. First 2 men get aboard. Wasted. Into the 6th, trailing by 3. We have got to hold them as we get set to go to the top of the 6th. It'll be Hunter, Mientkiewicz, and Keelty. Mike Porzio in relief of Gary Glover. Torrey Hunter 0 for 2 twice. He has gone out to Maggs. Once deep. And then a line drive into right center field. Maggs got a good jump on him. Made the catch easy. And Maggs going to get him again. This one's just routine.
I had talked to Torrey Hunter about the home run hitting contest before the All-Star game. He had hit a couple of them out into right center field. I said, man, you had yourself did yourself a good job in that contest. He said, you know, I didn't go on, I didn't advance, but I did something other guys did, and I was going the other direction. I just wanted to show people I can do that. So him hitting the ball to right field like he is to Maglio is not just a waste of time. He can drive it out of here.
Mientkiewicz takes ball 1. Grounded to second. And single. Now you'd have to say he's definitely trying to stay inside the ball. That ball hit deep. And it is 7-3. 5th homer of the game for the Twins.
Mientkiewicz picks up his 10th home run of the year. Mentioned he had a big game yesterday where he was 3 for 4, and he had a home run in that game. So continues to swing that long ball bat here, coming in bunches for him.
Here's Keelty. He's 1 for 2, a single and a run scored. Seven home runs in this ball game. Unfortunately, 5 by Minnesota. 2-0.
Well, the big thing is, you talk about that Minnesota has 5 home runs, but they've only got 7 runs. So it's not as if it's just a blowout as of yet.
Jose deep in the hole. Nice peg. Good play. Slips and all.
Now Jose has that strong arm. He's able to try and set right there, that little slip. Still able to regroup with a strong throw.
Here's Pierzynski. He's gone out to Carlos and line to Aaron in left center. But the homer by Mientkiewicz. We now trail by 4.
Seven to 3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sox gonna have to face a new pitcher, and Tony Fiore. Fiore 9-3 with a 3.07 ERA. Opponent's hitting just .213 against him. You see the rest of his numbers. He's 3-1 with a 1.74 ERA in his last 12 appearances. He has just done an outstanding job for the Twins out of that bullpen this year.
Their bullpen has been solid. So the 30-year-old right-hander, born and grew up here in Chicago, now resides in Tampa. They face Jose Valentin, Joe Creedy, and Mark Johnson. Jose has walked and he has singled. Line shot, Kielty. Got a good jump. Boy, this Minnesota outfield. There's something. They're fun to watch. They are really fun to watch.
Well, if you're a pitcher, you got to love them. There's no question. They are helping you out, holding guys to singles instead of those doubles that other players might allow. Making running catches like that by Kielty. Just a good jump. I mean, you're going to win a lot more ball games when you have that solid defense behind you. They have the best defense in the league.
0-1 to count to Creedy. Biggest thing they do is they stop guys from going from first to third who shouldn't be doing it. There's a base hit by Joe.
Here's a reminder, this Saturday, enjoy fireworks presented by Van Kampen Investments. It's following the 6:05 game against the Devil Rays. For game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME. You can also visit whitesox.com. So Brad Radke just went to 5 innings. That's his shortest outing since coming back off the disabled list. His other 3 outings, he went 6 innings. Then a 7-inning outing, and then back to 6. This one just 5.
Here's Marquis, 1 for 2. First pitch, fastball, strike. A little tardy on that one. And the 0-2 pitch. First of a 3-game set. Tomorrow night, Jim Parquet against Kyle Loesch. So make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark. If you can't, that game will be over Fox Sports Net. That's hit hard in the right. Guilty going back. He's there. Reaches up. Two down. Well, here's Willie Harris. I know one thing. The Angel outfield against us positioned themselves probably better than any outfield we play against all year. But this Minnesota Twin outfield, it's about as solid as it gets. That's in the right. And that's going to fall for a base hit. So Creedy pulls up at second. And Willie now 1 for 4.
But talent-wise, the Twins do a great job. I think they've got a little more speed and presence defensively. But the Angels, the first time we saw them this year, they were everywhere. I mean, they played perfectly. Balls were hit to them in those vicinities. They made all the great plays. Last time we saw them, it wasn't the same. They weren't cheating as much as we'd seen earlier in the year, even though they still made all the plays. But they weren't. It wasn't just because of the positioning.
Well, those first 2 series we played against them, they were right, especially Erstad, right in the right spot. But Jacque Jones is much better than anything Anaheim can put out there in left field. Torrey Hunter is Torrey Hunter. Even though Erstad does a terrific job for the Angels, Torrey Hunter is Torrey Hunter. Enough said. And then between Keelty and Dustin Moore and Kadire, those guys we've seen out there, I mean, there's a big pulling of the string. And the count 0-2. That man can play some center field.
Gold glove center field. You see it flashing right there on that mitt.
Yes, he did, says Joe Brinkman. And that'll retire the side. Sox fan a couple of more. We'll go to the 7th, trailing by 4. First pitch strike to the second baseman, Luis Rivas, leading off here in the top of the 7th. 7-9-1 for Minnesota. 3-9-0 for the Sox as there's a bullet foul. Oakland has defeated Cleveland 8-1 at Jacobs Field. Tigers. We got ourselves a tie over there in the West. Tigers beat Seattle 4-3 at Comerica Park. Toronto shuts out Kansas City 2-0 at Sky Dome, and Tampa Bay over Baltimore 7-3 at Camden Yards. 4 finals in the National League. The only other game in action in the major leagues. Cardinals shutting out the Pirates 4-0 top of the 7th in St. Louis. Giants shut out the Marlins 3-0. Montreal shut out San Diego 4-0. Houston beat Cincinnati 7-5, and Atlanta over Colorado 7-6. One and 2. Rivas twice has gone out to Aaron in center, once deep and once shallow. $24,016 in attendance tonight. Been a good crowd, and they've had some. As he's gone, he'll grab some bench for round number 1. Well, as Jacque Jones makes his way to the plate, let's pause for station identification.
You're watching WCIU, Channel 26, The U.
Darren Jackson, Ken Harrelson from Comiskey Park. First of a 3-game set with Minnesota. First of a 9-game homestand. Jacque Jones 3 for 3. Takes fastball strike. A solo homer in the first. A 2-run homer in the second. A double and run scored in the third. Checked in the fifth.
10 total bases in this game. That is piling them on. Jones with 30 doubles on the year now. 21 long balls.
As he's gone. 2 down.
And a reminder, this Saturday, Jose Valentin will be signing autographs at the Sears store at Orland Park Mall from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. Sears is a proud retail partner of the Chicago White Sox.
Cristian Guzmán on a 17-game hitting streak. He homered in the first. He singled in the fifth. He's 2 for 3. If you're just joining us, 3 home runs by Minnesota in the first inning. Jones, Guzmán, and Ortiz. Nice pitch by Barzil. Little change up. Very quickly. 1, 2, 3. 7th inning stretch. We need some runs. All right, now let's check out the scoreboard. As we just told you, Oakland over Cleveland 8-1. Blue Jays shut out Kansas City 2-0. 4-3. Tigers. Well, Seattle now in the tie with Anaheim in the West. 7-3. Tampa Bay over Baltimore. Houston over the Reds at Synergy Field 7-5. Atlanta by 1 over the Rockies. Giants shut out Florida 3-0. 4-0. Montreal shuts out San Diego, and St. Louis shutting out Pittsburgh 4-0 in the 7th in Missouri. So Tony Fiore, Chicagoan, concludes his warm-up tosses, and he will face Lee, Ordonez, and Konerko. Carlos Lee 1 for 3. That 2-run homer, his 20th in the third. Tries to bunt it. You mentioned Jim Parquet against Kyle Loesch tomorrow night. He can't make it to the ballpark. That game will be over at Fox Sports Net. On Wednesday, Mark Burley against Joe Mays. That game will be over Fox Sports Net Plus. And an off day on Thursday. It will be the Sox Field of Greens. Golf tournament at Harborside International. Oh, and 2. Of course, Friday night here is Elvis night. Tomorrow is Pepsi Half Price Tuesday. Friday, Elvis night. Also, we're going to have fireworks. And Friday is Mientkiewicz over to Fiore. 1 out. Fireworks on Friday night being presented by Miller Lite. And Saturday fireworks presented by Van Campen Investments. Of course, Sunday, Willy Wonka's Kids Day.
Well, they've always got great events going on here at this ballpark. Outstanding promotional events.
Yeah. There he is. He's going to win. We got 38 games counting this one left. Let's just have some, as you were talking about earlier, let's just have some fun as Mags takes ball 1. This can be a real strong 38 games for the Sox as far as the young players they've got out there, if they will take it in that vein and not just sit back and play out play out the streak. High pop up, Kielty. Now Davis will sit back and play the season out. If there is a total year, that's one thing. If they want to go out there and work hard, have some fun, try to get some experience in the last 37 after tonight, that's another story.
Oh, everybody, each player on the Sox team right now has to look at some kind of goal accomplished during this period, whether it be that they're going to look at it as they want certain numbers from here on out, or improve upon, or better themselves in a certain way. There's got to be something for them to strive for, so they're motivated. You can't just say, let's get this one done.
Colley's 1 for 3. There's not one situation in this game that cannot be taken either positively or negatively.
I like to stay with the first part of that.
Two and 0.
We are talking about baseball. Baseball, every time you come out here to play the game, you can have a lot of fun. The hardest thing for me when I was playing is when I wasn't playing. If I played, I knew I had a chance. I was sitting on that bench. I knew I had no chance to have any fun whatsoever. Even if I was struggling, it was better to play.
3-0, Big Frank on deck.
That was the way it was at the beginning of my career all the way to the end. I always wanted to play. At least keeps the edge there for you. And you know as well as I do, there have been guys that have gotten to the big leagues, and they're pretty happy just being there, not necessarily playing all the time. And they can sneak a lot of time in at the big league level, which usually doesn't work out.
And that's ball 4. Just the second walk issued by Twins pitching. Sox have issued no walks in this game.
Number 35, Frank Thomas.
Big Frank 0 for 3. He's hit it hard twice, once to Koski and once to Kielty. Struck out as sandwich it back. Takes ball 1. Oh, what a race that is in the West. Oakland beats Cleveland. They're now just one game back, and Anaheim is tied with the Mariners. But Seattle made a pretty good pickup, at least in my opinion, picking up Ishmael Valdez.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, his record is a losing record, but that's playing for Texas. He has an outstanding ERA at about 3.9. Does Valdez, so it's an outstanding pickup because he's going to get a little more support now.
Necro at first, 2 out, 1 and 2 the count to Thomas.
As everybody watching can see, Tony Fiore likes to throw the ball mostly below the hitting speed. A lot of slow stuff. That hitter thinking about that slow stuff, and then that fastball becomes pretty powerful for him.
Sox have stranded 9. Minnesota has stranded only 1 as we go to the 8th, trailing 7-3. Boykowski will lead off the top of the 8th inning. Koski 0 for 3. Gone out the left, grounded to short. Then in the 5th, hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And very quickly, 0-2. Ortiz on deck, and Torrey Hunter in the hole.
Oh. Cameraman fan club. Why not? I don't blame him.
And we've got some of the best right here. He's gone. 3rd strikeout for Forrest.
Mike Porzio. He is reaching back and firing that baseball. 3 strikeouts in his work tonight. Pretty solid. His last outing mentioned. He gave up a couple of walks during his 2 1/3, but that was it. He's throwing the ball pretty well a couple of straight times out.
Ortiz 1 for 3. His 16th homer coming in the 1st inning. Good breaking ball.
No question, that man right there is at a different frame of mind since being recalled from AAA. Seemed like that first time he was just up here trying to fit in and be helpful when he was called upon, but it was so rare it was hard for him to get in the groove.
Again, you mentioned he was hitting just what, 195 against Southpaws this year, but against us he looks like one of the best left-handed hitters against left-handed pitching in the league. Pops it up into center field. So that is 7 in a row retired by Mike Porzio.
Here's a reminder, this Sunday is Willy Wonka's Kids Day. It's presented by Bottle Caps. At this game and select Sunday home games during the season, fans can collect autographs pregame, kids can run the bases postgame, and kids tickets purchased in any Comiskey Park ticket window on the day of the game, they'll just be $1.
Torrey Hunter 0 for 3. All 3 times Maggs has got him. His first pitch strike. Chases one about eye high and nothing in 2. Just joining us, starters in this game, Gary Glover and Brad Radke.
Torrey Hunter with that 7-game hitting streak on the line here. He's hit the ball hard. Just keeps hitting it to the wrong guy out there in right field.
He's gone. So that is 8 in a row retired by Mike. Picks up his 4th strikeout. And we still trail 7-3.
Yippee. All right. Right now, let's take a look at our Toyota game summary as it's 7-3. Twins on top. Jones has got a couple of home runs, led off with one. And Mags, he's got himself his 4th straight season with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Actually, he needs 2 more home runs for that 30, but I'm sure he'll get them.
0-1 the count to Jose Valentin. He has walked, single, and lined hard to Bobby Kilty, who made a nice catch on it. Little chopper. Guzmán very quickly gets rid of it. So 1 out. And again, I don't know what the status of the field is for our Field of Greens golf outing on Thursday at Harborside International. Just to tell you about some of the guys, as Joe Creedy comes up, he's 1 for 3 tonight. He will be there. Joe Creedy will be there. Royce Clayton, John Garland, Matt Ginter, Gary Glover, Carlos Lee, Mike Porzio, Aaron Rowan, Frank Thomas, former Sox stars Bo Jackson, Harold Baines, Ron Kittle, Carlos May, Bill Melton, Billy Pierce, Moose Scouwer, and Al Weiss. Sports notables including Curtis Gentry, Norm Van Leer, and Bob Love, and more. These proceeds benefit the pediatric oncology research and treatment programs at Children's Memorial Hospital and the University of Chicago Children's Hospital. That's this Thursday, a 10:15 shotgun start. So if you want to see about getting yourself and the team together and coming on over, benefit those hospitals, just call the White Sox here at the ballpark. 312-674-1000. Ask for information. Not hit hard. David. So here's Mark. Mark 1 for 3. Now make it 1 for 4. Quick inning right there by Tony Fiore. Win of the night. We got to hold it. We got to hold them here in the top of the ninth, then go to work in the bottom of the ninth. First of this 3-game set. Minnesota holds a 6-4 season series edge on the Sox coming into the night. It'll be Mientkiewicz, Kilty, and Pierzynski to face Mike Porzio. He has worked 3 2/3, giving up just 1 hit. Unfortunately, he left the ballpark off the bat of this man at the plate right now. But Creedy's got to hurry.
That was a great effort by Joe Creedy. Seemed like at first he'd have absolutely no chance to even get a throw off, and he does. Tough play for him. A good effort.
There he is, Kilty. A single and a run scored in the second. He's 1 for 3. Curveball misses. And we have the game in action in the major leagues. Bottom of the 8th in St. Louis. 5-0 Cardinals over Pittsburgh.
Mientkiewicz leading off with that bunt, even though they're leading in the 9th by 4 runs. Lets you know baseball's changed quite a bit. Takes a couple of base runners, I guess, for the Sox, and then back into it. You don't see it that often. It might be a little different story when you get a leadoff man that doesn't have any power or gappage, putting down bunts in those situations. But somebody like Mientkiewicz, who can drive the ball, who's proven that, it's a little more surprising.
Well, anymore, there's not too much that goes on in a baseball game that surprises me.
Well, there's no question that the hitters have pretty much taken over, and they're dominating within the game now, within the game.
That'll be a souvenir right side. I remember a game. Mo Drabowski was pitching. We were leading Washington, I don't know, 6 or 7 to nothing. Top of the 9th inning. We were playing in Kansas City. Don Blasingame was the second baseman. Mo had a no-hitter going. That's hit hard but foul. Blasingame laid down a bunt, beat it out for the only hit. And the next time we played them in Washington, Blasingame was leading off, and Mo was starting in that game. And as Mo started his windup for the first pitch of the game, Blasingame started running.
He knew.
And Mo got him in the on-deck circle.
Moving target, huh?
And hit him. Gil Hodges was the manager, and he didn't say a word. He didn't say one word.
Well, you remember that was an issue a couple of years ago with Ben Davis catching for the Padres.
Well, that's a different story, though.
Oh, that was.
That's an entirely different story.
It was a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah.
7th or so inning, and he was leading off the inning, and I think it was Schilling had a no-hitter going or something, and he put down a bunt hit. I remember that story, and I'm going, well, what are you saying? It's a 2-run ball game. He's getting on. The next guy up hit a 2-run blast and tie the game up. That's a different story.
Oh, yeah.
I remember different situations. I can think back when I was with the Cubs and Ron Gant was in the batter's box against Goose Gossage. And the Braves were winning that game. Gant hit a monster bomb just foul, and he stood there and watched it. Goose didn't like that too much.
High in the center.
But Goose's response to young Ron Gant standing there, teeter-tottering back and forth, trying to push it fair with his body language was, "That's fine, young man. That one didn't stay fair. You got to get back in that box." That next pitch, Goose allowed him to go to first.
Here's Pierzynski. He's 0 for 3. He's gone out to left, lined hard to center, and he's grounded to second.
But that is not something you see very often anymore, where all the balance has changed to the hitters. The pitchers just pretty much have said that's the way it is.
It's that old story. I don't see any anchor hanging on you behind. And if they want to let the hitters take over like that and dominate, shame on them. Two and one. And Bob Wells. Americo. Take your time, hold. So that's 2 out. Error on Jose.
Yeah, there's a tough play for the reason that Konerko really didn't get any angle whatsoever to give Jose this throw. He's going to stand right there with the base runner. This throw is going to be offline for Jose, and he's going to try and make something with his balance a little messed up, and there's the result. Paulie had time to probably take a step in and make a little better, firmer, more accurate throw. Just didn't happen.
So a fine job of the 29-year-old southpaw Mike Porzio. As he departs, Biddle comes on, and we'll be back.
So Rocky Biddle comes on for the nice job done by Mike Porzio. Biddle, he's 1-3 at the 4.91 ERA. He's got a save, 263. That's what opponents hit against him. Rocky threw in Oakland, and he had a tough outing. 1 inning, gave up a couple of runs on. He also had 3 base on balls.
Rivas 0 for 3. Takes a curveball strike. Cardinals now leading Pittsburgh 7-0. Bottom of the 8th inning in St. Louis. And the count 0-2 to Rivas. The Sox in their half of the ninth. It'll be the top of the order. Willie Harris, Aaron Rowan, and Carlos Lee.
Good try right there by Rocky to see if he can get Rivas to chase that pitch off the outside corner or get the call after a couple of breaking balls. The ball got up there in a hurry.
He's gone, and that'll retire the side. We will go to the bottom of the ninth. We need some base running.
It's 7-3 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Sox got their work cut out for them, and they're going to have to get it done now against Bob Wells, who's just entered the game. He's 1-1, has a 5.40 ERA. 324 opponents are hitting against him as he's given up 60 hits in his 45 innings. 7 of them are home runs, 14 walks, and 24 strikeouts. Top of the order for the Sox: Harris, Rowan, and then Lee. Harris singled in his last at bat. He's 1 for 4 on the evening. Fly to left, fly to center. Also tried to put down a bunt that Radke got over and covered. So Willie Harris still trying to settle in with the bat at the big league level. Everywhere else, he has looked very solid. Takes the off-speed pitch down. Really checking his defense, seeing if there's a bunt available to him. Moving around that batter's box, shuffling his feet a little bit, trying to create something. Two and one. The Sox need base runners. Harris up there has seen 3 pitches and now should be ready to go. Cutter from Wells. He takes it on the inside corner. Count evens up at 2. Shot out to Jacque Jones. He drifts back on it. He's there. One out. Here's a reminder, fans, 2003 All-Star Game merchandise is available now at the White Sox gift shop in Comiskey Park. Stop in, pick up All-Star t-shirts, caps, and more during any home game. So for tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME. You can also visit whitesox.com. Aaron Rowan. Aaron, he's 2 for 4 with a double. He scored a run and also a single. Takes high. Sox hitters right here, trailing by 4. Have to be patient. Not going up there first pitch swinging, needing base runners. If they don't know it, hopefully it was conveyed to them, as that's now 2-0.
I'm glad you finished it off, because I was getting ready to say you, what hurts?
Now, we've seen that a lot of players nowadays don't seem to know situations when they shouldn't be swinging the bat. Two and one, as it was to Willie Harris. Gary Ward, the hitting coach, would be one of many coaches over there that could relate to the hitter, not to be going up there swinging. As Aaron swings at that one and hits a bullet out to Jacque Jones on the hop. Aaron has himself a 3-hit game. See, Aaron goes down and gets that off-speed offering. Aaron has just swung the bat with authority tonight. When he's on, he can't hit the ball as hard as you've seen him this evening, and all 3 of his hits have been right on the screws. Now Carlos Lee. Carlos hit his 20th home run back in the 3rd inning. His only hit. First pitch strike. This is one of those situations where hitters just have to say to themselves, hey, it's all right. I can afford to hit with 1 strike. Have that kind of confidence. Even if they are first pitch strike hitters. Ball down. Good job by Pierzynski. Dropping down at the last second, adjusting to that pitch and keeping it right there. One and one. Runner on first. Sox trailing this one by 4 here in the 9th. 1 out. 2 and 1. So Bob Wells, first 3 hitters he's faced here, he's had a 2 and 1 count on. Carlos Lee under that one into left center field. Has he got enough? Johns, Hunter, they collide, but the leaping Torrey Hunter holds on to it. Outstanding job by the Gold Glove All-Star center fielder, getting up over his All-Star teammate and holding on to that one.
Just about as good as it gets out there. Just a little bit of a miscommunication. Meanwhile, a play is made. And left and center. Best duo in this league.
Well, the big thing there is you can kind of see Torrey Hunter at the last second feeling and realizing that Jacque Jones was right there. And he was committing to it, was Torrey. So he made a little adjustment while he jumped and not hit him directly. So nobody ended up hurt. Mags Ordonez up there. Takes inside. Mags. He homered. Backing up Carlos Lee's in the 3rd. He's 1 for 4. Has a 15-game hitting streak and those 100 RBIs for his 4th straight year. A couple of swings away from those 30 home runs again. As Maglio not taking a strike. Swings and evens the count up at 1. Not being held at first is Rowan. Through the fastball. 1-2. This is where Bob Wells, these situations, fastball becomes really effective for him, as he's known for being a real off-speed pitcher. Hitters try to protect too much against that sometimes. As he goes with a good cut fastball. Sox a strike away from their 5th straight loss. There it is. The changeup. It's Mags out in front, and the Twins take the first of this 3-game set. Bob Wells finishes it off. A good game for the Twins. They take this one, and we'll be back.
Right now, let's check out our Miller Genuine Draft plays of the game. Jacque Jones is first to at-bats.
Right there. Jacque Jones just yanks one right down the right field line. That's a solo shot, and then he does a great job adjusting to a pitch up and in for a 2-run blast. Jacque Jones swinging that stick.
And the final totals on game 1 of this 3-game set with Minnesota. For the Twins, 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They stranded but 2. For the Sox, 3 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They stranded 10. Radke, the winner, he is 5-3. Glover takes the loss. He is 5-6. And a reminder, our next White Sox telecast will be Saturday night when the Sox and Tampa Bay Devil Rays square off right here from Comiskey Park. Join us at 6 p.m. for all the action over WGN-TV. So for my part, DJ Darren Jackson, our director Jim Angio, our producer John Walgren, this is the Hawk Ken Harrelson. So long, everybody.
Chicago White Sox baseball, brought to you by MGD. Cold filtered for a pure beer and a pure night out. Pure MGD. Your local Ford store. Quality people, quality products. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by Toyota. Get the feeling.